What's up, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's happening with SPY, Tesla, and the overall market. I'll talk about some very key levels to watch for what's happening with the charts, at least moving forward. Just know that I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I'm saying as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out my Moomoo link. If you deposit $100, you're guaranteed 5 free stocks. If you deposit $2,000, you're guaranteed 30 in total, and the offer ends at the end of March. Anyways, as far as the market's going, SPY is attempting to make higher lows right now. We're just continuing to do this. And if we manage to break past this resistance at this 575 area, we could try to push even higher towards the next leg up. For now, we're just consolidating at 575 after we got some data. So I'm going to talk about what that data was, and I'll break down these charts. So I just want to mention that consumer confidence was a little bit weak. This was at 92.9, below the 94 expectations. So a little bit weak right over there. The manufacturing numbers were not the best. We have the manufacturing index below expectations. Everything else was somewhat below expectations, showing weakness in manufacturing shipments and the overall services revenue. So kind of weak data. It's part of why the market saw a bit of a dip, and now it's just getting bought back up and consolidating. So that's because of the fact that this data was not the strongest. However, despite that, the market is showing lots of resilience by trying to hold support. Now, there's also some news involving President Trump. So I haven't heard too many new updates from him, but he did mention that he wants to give certain countries more breaks when it comes to tariffs. And he is continuing to hype up April 2nd as of right now. He also mentioned the possibility of increasing tariffs on automotives and pharmaceuticals. He did say he may be making those announcements in the next few days. We'll see about that. We're still waiting to see what ends up coming. For now, the market is still holding up very well, and we haven't really seen a big increase in volatility quite yet. So we're just waiting to see what else President Trump ends up announcing. For now, he's being, I would say, less strict than before with the tariffs. He's been a bit more flexible, and the market has been liking that. That's part of why the market is still elevated. So looking at the SPY chart, like I said before, we're forming a very nice accumulation right here. If we manage to break out of the 575s, we're looking for 578 and then 580 as our targets. If we end up rejecting and we can't hold above 575, we're looking for our support over here around this 572 area, then back down to 568. As of right now, the chart does look bullish because we technically are trying to form a kind of like a cup and handle like structure. We're also making higher lows right here. So this is technically trying to uptrend from right over here. And what oftentimes happens is you eventually try to go higher for the like 580 area. There's a good chance SPY will continue to try to push higher, at least from this point on. But for now, we're just consolidating. So we might consolidate a bit before we try to push higher. So keep that in mind. So as of right now, we're just consolidating in the 575s after the data that came out, but there is potential for us to try to get closer to 580 if we break out of this, and I do think it's very possible for us to do this. Why is that? Because we're still getting good volume and good order flow, and then also on the daily chart, I think we're doing a pretty good job right here, so that could actually bring us higher towards that 580 area. So in a nutshell, SPY is bullish overall in terms of its direction. We could be pushing even more if we get some kind of news involving involving the tariffs, excuse me. But as of right now, we're just consolidating, so just keep that in mind. We're going to likely see a lot of chop, so be careful with the options because this is going to be hurting premiums, and the chart still has upside potential nonetheless. For the QQQ, as long as we don't end up losing around the 485 area, we're going to be completely fine. If we manage to get back above like 493 and hold it, this does have more upside potential for 495 and eventually 500. So make sure you watch 485 as the main support, and then watch resistance near 495 and then 500. We're forming a nice inverse head and shoulders here, making higher lows, and I think this may continue to push for that 500 target. So we'll give this some time just to be safe. But overall, I think we're doing a good job here, especially as we have this imbalance up here. So I think the odds favor the higher 490s and eventually 500. I think we're making higher lows right here, and I think this is going to likely continue to uptrend. If we fail and we can't hold 485, that could cause us to trend down. But as of right now, it's not looking very likely. So the most likely possibility is that we just consolidate in the 492s for some time, but then later on we do try to get close to like 495 to 500 area near the 200 EMA. There's a good chance we do try to do this as we still have this imbalance up here and we still have this unfilled gap up to about the 500 area. So we'll give it some time. For the Iwm Russell 2000, I also want to call out that we have like an inverse head and shoulders. What's good is the fact that the Russell is still respecting this quite nicely. We have that left shoulder here, the head, and the potential right shoulder. And this could even lead us to pushing for the 212s. Now, if we fail, let's just say we can't hold above 205, it's going to be a bad sign. As long as we're above 205, we're going to be doing well. So I think this favors consolidation. So long as we don't lose 205, then we could be looking for a bounce back up towards the 212s. So just keep that in mind. For ES, we're looking more bullish. We could be slowly uptrending for 58.50, then 58.72. If we end up losing 5,800, we could turn back down to about 57.70, but we're still looking more bullish with this inverse head and shoulders. So I think the odds do favor 58.50 and 58.70 plus. Looking at the 200 EMA, we look more bullish, and I think we're doing a great job at holding up, but we're in a consolidation phase for now, so expect some consolidation first before it tries to go higher. As long as 5,800 does not fail, so I think we're going to be completely fine. For NQ, it looks a bit more bullish. We're looking for 20,500 as the main resistance. If it breaks that, I could be looking for an attempt to get to 20,700 near the 200 EMA. Now, if we turn down and end up losing 20,000 and 150, that's going to be a bad sign, but so far we're well above that. I mean, the chart does look more bullish, right? Looking at this, it's a nice accumulation. It looks like it wants to go higher for the 200 EMA. Looks bullish overall, so we'll give it some time. For Bitcoin, we're making higher lows right here. I want to see us continue to push for the 90 plus thousand area. If we lose 85,000, we will turn a little bit more bearish. For now, we're still technically uptrending. It looks like it wants to push for 88 to 90,000. For Nvidia, we look quite good. We're actually holding up quite nicely, despite the fact that we dipped just a little bit. I think there was some negative news that came out. But despite that, I just want to see us hold 118 at the very least. As long as it holds, we could slowly try to get back up to 125. If we can't hold 118, it's going to be a bad sign, and we could be retesting 115. Lose that, we turn a bit more bearish. So the setup is more bullish. Once again, we have like a cup and handle like structure, and you just want to see us hold 118 to 120. As long as that holds, 125 is likely coming very soon. Tesla's a little bit weak here. We're just kind of consolidating between 280 and 273. If that doesn't hold, we could be dipping to like 264. It's okay though, because we're up so much compared to before. We're only down 1% after being up 12% yesterday. So a little bit of a dip and a bounce is very possible. So long as we don't lose like 264, we're going to be completely fine. And then we eventually want to reclaim 280 over the next couple of days. If we do that, then we could be looking for 295 to 300. So keep that in mind, guys. That's going to be very key for how we end up moving. For Apple, we look a bit more bullish. As long as we don't lose 220, we're favoring a push for like 225. Nice double bottom. I think we're doing quite well so far. For Coinbase, we look quite good. As long as we don't end up losing 195, we're favoring an attempt to push close to about the 210 area to fill that gap. So let's see if 200 holds. So far, we're doing a good job. For Amazon, we have a triple bottom here. We're looking for an attempt to push up to about 208. As long as we don't end up losing 202, it's still technically a bit more bullish. I want to see it hold above 206, though. If we do break that, then we're looking for the next leg up for like the 208 and 210 area. Looks a little bit more bullish overall as long as we don't lose support. Meta could be trying to retest 635. I think we already tested my target. So we're now in a range. As long as we don't lose 610, we're technically a bit more bullish. You need to break 635 to remain bullish and turn even more bullish, actually. I do think we could try to retest it, but we'll see if we break it or not. Microsoft is looking good as long as we don't lose like 389. We're favoring an attempt to get up to 397 to 400. And Google looks quite good as long as you don't lose 170. We're favoring 174. So good job by Google. And the rest of the markets, the VIX is still kind of weak, which is a good sign for bulls. I would say the bulls have a bigger edge overall, but right now the market's more like choppy, kind of consolidating for the time being. So that's likely what we're going to do for another couple of hours. But there is still some more upside potential as time goes on. So just keep that in mind. Anyways, that is it for my video. I thank you all so much for listening. Please have a good rest of your day. I'll be back in a couple of hours with another upload. Until then, have a good one and peace out.